Hello, everybody. How are you doing? This is S. Anthony Thomas. This is the S. Anthony Thomas Show. And my guests this time are Tony and Bryan from the Salty Language Podcast. They had me on their podcast a few years ago. I had a great time. These are two great guys. I enjoyed talking to them then, and I enjoyed talking to them this time as well. And you're going to enjoy me talking to these guys. It was a fun conversation. It started out light and funny, then it got weird and funny, which made it even better. You're going to dig it. So, are you ready? Of course you are. Let's do it. All right, everybody. This is episode 31 of my other podcast. I know a lot of you have come over to this podcast from the other podcast, the original podcast, but obviously there's 356 episodes of that one, and this is episode 31, and I wanted to have two of my buddies who did me a solid and had me on their podcast early on, from the Salty Language Podcast. Tony and Bryan, introduce yourself. Say hello to the people.
Well, hey there, I'm Tony from the, as mentioned, Salty Language Podcast. And I'm Bryan.
And my name's S. Anthony.
Oh, perfect. Let's do it. Yeah.
And I'm not an alcoholic.
I'm sorry. I tell people I'm not alcoholic. It's a hobby.
You know what? Wait a minute. Let me ask you this. The thing is this. When I'm online, I see a lot of, what is that thing where it reports what beer you're drinking, what bar you're at? What the hell is that?
Untapped.
Untapped. What is that?
Well, it's like, like if you're like Bryan and I and you enjoy fancy beers, you can go to a bar and you order a fancy beer and then you just check it in. And I don't know, it's very much like playing Pokemon. You just get measures and stuff. Like, look how here is God. I really don't know. I originally started using it because I was like, oh, it's a way to keep track of beers I like. And now it's just kind of, it's like a lifestyle. I don't know.
Yeah. In fairness, you can, if you like terrible beers, you can also use it to just track those. But it's
also true.
That's not our goal. I'm like you, Tony. I got started because you told me about it, and I was like, ooh, badges. So now, like, every time I drink a beer, I take a picture of it. I'm trying to up the one badge and different stuff. It's terrible. Don't ever start it.
I just want to say to my audience, I listened to their podcast, the Salty Language Podcast, and I was telling them before we started recording, see, they're talking about beer now, and I'm sorry, I'm going to bust you out in front of my damn audience. These two dudes were talking about sweet potato toast.
Well,
you two make me sick.
I don't blame you. All I can say is I was just reporting the news. I didn't eat it.
And Robert Kraft was just checking out the paint job inside of that Chinese massage place or whatever the hell that was.
He might have been adding to the paint job.
It's really weird because every time I hang out with guys, we hang out a lot, and you were talking about the toast with the sweet potato toast. And I was talking to somebody about something else, and tell me if I'm crazy. Okay, you're dudes, you're beer drinking real dudes. Tell me if I'm nuts with this, okay? And be honest with me. I don't even know if I should do this because I just ridiculed you both for the damn sweet potato toast, but that's a different story. Okay. I was driving down the street and I heard a McDonald's commercial. And they go, and then McDonald's, we have something new. And I'm going, yeah, sure you do. And they go, we have the Big Mac with bacon. And I immediately turned off my navigation app and searched for the nearest McDonald's. And I'll go, Big Mac with bacon. I know I'm eating healthy right now, but damn it, I'm eating that, and I'm eating it now.
I mean, I kind of, I mean, good thing I'm mobile, so I'm kind of thinking about just out of my car, run up the road and checking one of these things out. I'm a Big Mac fan. I haven't had them in a long time. You throw bacon in? Oh my.
I'm telling you now, I had the Big Mac with bacon, and I'm telling you right now, I wish this was a video podcast so you could see how high my two thumbs are up.
Oh yeah. I mean, you think it was something they would have came up with a long time ago, since bacon's been all the rage for years now.
And they have it. Yeah, I was going to say, and they have other sandwiches. I believe they have bacon regularly. Maybe not. I don't know. You're thinking about it. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know if they do.
You know what
it's
I'm
thinking? Like Arby's at one point had the beef and cheddar with bacon, and they're like, "Hurry, limited time!" And I'm like, "You always have bacon, and you always have the beef and cheddar. Why is this a limited time item?"
Yeah, they're nuts. No, the funny thing is, now think about this. This is going to sound weird, okay? Their biggest, when you think of McDonald's, you think Big Mac, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And you, as you just both said, there's bacon in the store. It's already in the building, right? They're in America, and they know how Americans feel about bacon.
Right. You could just forget the burger and just lay gobs of bacon on there instead.
They'll probably come up with that in 2027.
I'm submitting it right now, actually.
I think if you get rid of that middle bun, you just have a solid layer of bacon for that weird middle bun.
All right, that works. I'm in.
You know what I'm saying?
You're damn right. I was going to say, hold it a second. You better copyright that before I upload this podcast, buddy.
I know, right?
You might have just lost $50 million.
Yeah, for sure, exactly.
But
there's some clown who just show up with a tool in my head, and you'll never hear from me again.
By the way, if that does happen, I just want to let you know. I want you to say on record that I can have the idea if something happens to you.
Oh, it's for sure handing it down. It's all yours.
What a sucker! You're dead, buddy. Anyway,
That's Anthony, like texting somebody else or sending a message to somebody else now that's a clown, you know.
Googling clown hitman.
There's going to be a big edit in the middle of this where that whole chunk of the conversation is cut out.
Somebody couldn't appear on the show today.
That episode got erased. And also, I would like to order 5 Teslas. Now, guys, let me ask you this.
Bacon on Big Mac?
Oh, yeah. I used to put bacons on my own Big Mac.
Yep, it's true.
Yo, I mean, I'm a dude. I mean, when you're college age and younger, I can't even tell you the amount of things I put on the Big Mac. I can't even tell you the stuff I put a Big Mac on. I'm not even going to say what it is, but it rhymes with my ex-girlfriend's ass. Anyway. And that's true. So,
it's a lot harder to snort off. Unless you're talking like bacon bits or something, you like crumble the bacon up and then do lines of that.
Whoa. Did you see the tape or something? You know, the funny thing is, I know she's listening right now, and she's probably going, could you make sure that you let people think that's a joke? Because people know both of us. By the way, I want to let you know that that didn't happen. It was I was just saying this to make my friends laugh. Thank you. Moving on. So, now, what do you guys have episode 400 coming up? What are you going to do for that?
There. Like 2 or 3 weeks, something like that?
Yeah, actually, I'm looking at my notebook here, and we're going to be recording 398 tonight.
Okay, so you're going to do anything big for the Big 4-0? You said on the show, you said live recording?
That's the rumor. That's the plan. We're going to try to go live. Yeah.
Is that, and you've never done that before?
Oh, hell no.
Wait a minute. So with the Big 400 coming up, the Big 4-0 is coming up. Big 400 is coming up, which is a pretty big deal. I know because I'm at 356 myself. When did
you're getting there too,
Yeah, because I got 356 of that one, and this is episode number. This is like my 31st recording for this one, as far as a guest is concerned. I mean, I haven't even started thinking about what I would do for episode 400, but live, man, that is, I don't know. Most things aren't scary regarding performances for me. Like if I was doing stand up, who cares? I've been doing that since I was 17. Podcasting, been doing this for 5 years, but I've never done the live podcast. Ooh.
We have the one advantage is we don't edit. So I mean, basically, we pretty much go live every time. Just live straight to hard drive, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, occasionally we'll stop for, like Tony's got to take his dog out, or we have someone has to use the restroom, or we need another beer or something like that. But otherwise, it's pretty much just hit play and go, or hit record and go. I'm sorry.
We just gotta figure out how to make that live, then and we're good.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. I was just thinking. I mean, do you have to? I mean, you gonna have to get something other than your normal setup, or are you just gonna do the podcast and just have people sitting in the background, or are you gonna wire anything up, or is it just how are you gonna do it?
Well, I think the plan is we're gonna get in the same rooms. We actually usually record over Skype because we live a decent distance apart. So I think we're going to get in the same room and just do it straight to YouTube as we're recording the audio.
Oh, so that's what you meant by live.
Tentative plan.
Oh, you know what? That was my mistake. When you said do it live, keep in mind this. See, you're talking to a guy who a stand up, and to me,
you mean in front of people. I got
yeah. To me, live means with about 400 people staring at you.
Oh yeah, no, we're not. That's a whole different beast.
Yeah.
That's what I was. See, that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes when you're coming from a different perspective, I'm sitting there going, "Wow, these guys are going to do it." Well, I guess they're going to talk to a friend that has a comedy club and have their friends come in. And
I mean, I took part in a live podcast once. I shot a history, did a live anniversary at a bar, and they did their whole setup at the bar stage, and they recorded like 5 or 6 episodes just in front of an audience. That's kind of fun.
Oh, that is pretty cool. So, I mean, this is something I wanted to know. Now, this is something I'm very, very curious about because, I've had, comics on and people of that nature and radio people on and stuff like that. But what I'm interested in a lot is the origin story. Because you've been doing this for a while, and you don't do something damn near 400 times unless it's something that you were really serious about doing or you enjoyed to do. What made you go, okay, let's try this podcasting thing. Let's do this.
I don't know. You want to take this one, Bryan, or you want me?
I just remember like you approaching me about it. You were like, "Hey, don't we listen to podcasts?" And it's like, people tell us that they like our conversations. So, why not let's give this a go. And I thought it was a cool idea because as I'm very open about on the podcast, I have issues with anxiety and depression, and I wanted something that I kind of would feel responsible to, for every week. So that's really helped. And of the 400 episodes, I think there's 2 I'm not on.
Yeah,
something like that, maybe 3, and that was because I was sick, so I couldn't be on. But it's been like you said, you can't keep doing it this many times unless it's something you really enjoy, and I do. I really enjoy doing this every week.
Well, and we've been friends since we were like 6 or 7. We've known each other our whole life, basically. It's a good excuse just to hang out and BS.
You've known each other since you were in 6?
Oh, yeah. Like, he moved into the neighborhood. I knocked him and said, "Hey, let's play." And then the rest is history.
Yeah. I didn't know you. I mean, I knew you guys knew each other for a while because you can tell when people are talking to each other, because you guys, when you talk to each other, you sound like siblings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I think that's how we see it. I think is, I see him more as a brother than, best friend type of situation. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's, I think other than the fact that you guys know what you're doing and you do a nice job anyway, I think a lot of the things that I notice that is that people, when they listen to podcasts, like you said, you were podcast listeners yourselves, when people get comfortable, they just keep listening to you because they like you. And when you have people that like each other and genuinely enjoy each other's company, it's fun to listen to, and you can kind of relax into the conversations because you guys, it's like watching when you watch the news and they bring in the new anchor person and they keep stepping over each other, right?
yeah.
But when the regular person comes back, they kind of fit right together. They know when to speak, when not to speak. They flow into each other, and almost everything that they say leads to something else. And that's what I've noticed about your podcast. That's what I noticed about when you guys talk to each other.
All right. Well, thank you, because
that's an awesome compliment right there.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Well,
that's what we always have shot for too. Like we do the enthusiasts, which is when we interview people,
mm-hmm.
and we love it when we're done and someone's like, "Wow, that was just like having a conversation," or "That was just like if we were out at a bar having a beer." That's what we're going for. We're not, I mean, honestly, I know for my side, like when we do those shows, I maybe have one or two things written down, and that's.
Because I remember, I don't know which enthusiast I was on. It was an early one. I remember that, and that was the thing that I noticed. I was like, man, I didn't realize, because it was literally, it was just like I walked into the bar. We knew each other. We hadn't seen each other in a while, and the next thing you know, the football game's over. And you go, that was 3.5 hours. And that's one of those things. That's what's great about podcasting just in general, man. It's not like radio or anything else, because people, I mean, when you read your email or you get the direct messages from people that listen to the podcast, the way they talk about podcasting and the way they talk to you, it's almost the same way they would talk to someone that they knew for a long time. They're very, very comfortable with you because, let's be honest, man. I mean, all three of us are podcasters. So people are listening to us in the car on the way to work, and in the gym. So we're there all the time. And once you got as many episodes as you have and I have, they've been listening for a long time. And they, and they become very, very comfortable, with us. And that's probably why you guys, one of the reasons, obviously, that you guys don't want to take a week off, because you got there's people that are listening that want to hear it, and that's why I very rarely take a week off. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's why I enjoy it. I enjoy that kind of thing, there. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And speaking of a long time, because I had to pull it up, dude, you were on our enthusiast number 21, 3.5 years ago. 2015. It's September 2015.
Oh, my goodness gracious! It's really weird when you sit there and you realize how long you've been doing your podcast and I've been doing my podcast, because you guys you have 2 podcasts, correct?
I have 2, and then we also have the enthusiast with this show.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, yeah, because they're all in the same feed, or they have different feeds?
It's the Crazy Life's on a different feed.
Okay.
Well, sorry, Tony.
Yeah. No, you're good. Yeah. Bryan shows on a different feed, but the enthusiasts or interview shows on the same one as Salty Language.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because obviously I follow all of your shows on Twitter, so everything kind of pops up, back to back to back to back. So I didn't know whether they were all in the same feed or not. But isn't that kind of weird doing 3 of those freaking things, though?
Yeah.
Because I'm doing 2, and good Lord, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, the enthusiast one is more of a, like, we kind of seem to do that in run.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we'll line up like 6 of them, and then I don't know the last time we did one. Actually, I have it right in front of me. The last one we did was August of 2018, so it's been a minute,
Mm-hmm.
And, so that, because again, that, we never wanted the podcast to truly feel like it was anything other than us just having fun.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't want it to be work, even though it is, and doing the other one, I think if I was doing like the same kind of format, it might get old, to where you kind of feel that burnout. But it's, we talk about mental health and a much different, vibe from that podcast. So it's plus it's kind of, honestly, it's kind of like therapy for me every week. So.
It is, that's the thing. A lot of times, we compartmentalize these things. Like I have the one I have the one where it's just me talking. That podcast is only my voice. This one I have guests on, like I'm doing right now, and various different other things. Sometimes you just got to separate them. They're still you.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like, you have a relationship with your parents, you have a relationship with your girlfriend, you have a relationship with your friends. It's still you, but like I said, it's basically on the same feed, but it's a little bit different. Let me ask you this. This is completely off topic, and I wanted to ask you this because I don't know anybody from where you are in Detroit. I don't know anybody.
Right.
Do you have, other cities like this, when you go to Pittsburgh, I forgot what that stupid sandwich is. I shouldn't say stupid because I got people that listen to me in Pittsburgh. What that wonderful sandwich is, they have a sandwich there, obviously from down a few miles away from here in Philadelphia. They have my hometown cheesesteaks and cream cheese and all the hoagies and all that kind of stuff. I've never been to Detroit. I know nothing about Detroit. Do you have a signature food? I'm just curious. Or anything like that.
The only one I could think of is there's kind of like a deep dish pizza around here that's known as Detroit style. And I don't know if that is anywhere else or if that's just what it's called around here. But it's basically like a rectangle deep dish pizza, when the edges get real crisp and everything. But other than that, I don't know. Do you tell me?
Coney Island hot dogs. Which, you think Coney Island is New York, but they have Coney dogs in Detroit, like what they call like the original Coney and something else. They're
right next to
the hot dogs, chili and onions. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
So you go to Detroit, you get a Coney.
Yeah. Which is weird because Coney originated in New York, but in Toledo, we've got Tony Paco, which is a Hungarian hot dog type place, and they have various other Hungarian foods that, Jamie Farr used to advertise like crazy on MASH for that in the Toledo Mud Hen. So, that's, and I know they ship like nationwide. So, that's probably that's all I can think of. And I'm sure there's probably someone listening going, really? How could you forget? Whatever.
I'm guaranteeing you there's going to be I'm going to get about 150 DMs with people. Those guys forgot about the cornflakes from Detroit, man.
Fair enough. Yeah, cornflakes did originate in, was it Dearborn or whatever?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, someone's gonna be yelling at us about Fago or Burners or something.
Yeah. Let me just say this right now, to those of you that are listening. Okay, I know that this is my show, okay, and that Tony and Bryan are on my show, but their show is the Salty Language Podcast. So, if you're going to send lots of emails about the damn food that they forgot, send that to them, please. Because I'm telling you, every time somebody comes on here and forgets something from their hometown, everybody comes at me. It's like when you post something on Facebook and people start arguing at you, and it's like, wait, I'm just posting the news articles because I think people will find it interesting. And another thing about you damn mother effing. Like, no, I'm just putting an article up because I thought people would find it interesting. I'm not making a comment. If I wanted to make a comment on the article, I would have put it above the article. I'm just sharing. Yo, mother jumping, So I guarantee you, right after this airs, that's what's going to happen to me. By the way, their names are Tony High and Bryan Stewart, the Salty Language Podcast. And you can very easily find them to let them know how mad you are about the food they forgot. In fact, get them good. I'm sure they forgot something. Get those bastards.
I mean, in fairness, we are both guys that like to try food. So, you know, if there's something we forgot, we'd be more than happy to hear about it and go try it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Also, if you, all the people that I'm now directing to yell at you instead of yelling at me for you, just remember they forgot the wonderful foods of Ohio and Detroit, but had no problem extolling the virtues of sweet potato toast. Okay, they remembered that, but I'm just saying both of these guys have completely betrayed their hometowns. That's all I'm saying.
That's accurate.
I feel like we make up for it with all the promoting of Michigan beer that we do, though. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I am. Come on.
We're ambassadors of Michigan beer.
Yeah, whether they want us or not.
That is the most pitiful deflection I've ever heard in my life. Get them, everybody. Get them. So I guess I know where you guys are always plastered on Thanksgiving. Right in front of the TV, checking out the... are you both Lions fans?
I am.
Well, Bryan, I'm more of a Chicago Bears fan myself.
Well, okay, well, I guess technically bragging rights exist with Tony this time.
Just a wee bit.
Although technically right now, just right now, I can kind of laugh at Tony myself. Being from Philadelphia originally, I can laugh at you right now because of that bad kick. I mean, you know, I can laugh now.
Right.
So I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough.
You know, it makes it more sinister when you announce you're going to laugh.
We'll be back right after this short break. And now, back to the show. You know, wait a minute. You guys, you said you knew each other since 6.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 40. I'll be 41 this year.
Yeah, and I'll be 40 very soon. In a month.
Oh, well. You young bastards. Right. I'm 50. And you're about to hit the big 4-0. I would like to share something with you both. As one of you's 40. Tony, Bryan, you're 40. Tony, you're about to be 40. I would like to share something with you, your friend, S. Anthony, having hit 50. This Tuesday, camera in the ass.
Wow. Like for a doctor or just for personal?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to go to the doctor later. I'm just going to put a couple of Polaroids on it.
Like, no, here, check this out.
Oh, yeah.
Work than you guys do.
Yeah, and then I'm going to the doctor.
Yeah.
It's, and they, have you, I mean, I don't know. My doctor said I had to get it at 50. I don't know. Have either one, I mean, that's it. You're, okay, well, you were, Bryan, you're 40, so you haven't had the camera in the ass yet?
Nope.
It's coming.
I'm just picturing, like, over my shoulder, like the camera's just raising up like it's a giant snake, like real ominously. I'm going to turn around and it's right there.
It's really weird because when I turn your age, 40, the doctor goes, you know what's coming, right?
Like he's excited about it.
That's what I was thinking. I'm going, you get a commission or something?
Is the camera's pinned?
So I was sitting going, you know what's coming, as Anthony, you know what's coming. Okay, buddy, you're a little excited there. Calm down, buddy. Yeah, it's coming, buddy. I went on YouTube and I looked up colonoscopies, man. I literally watched about 5 colonoscopies on YouTube.
Wow. Right. That's quite a few.
Yeah.
I can't believe it on YouTube.
For everyone listening, he said YouTube, not YouPorn. Just to make sure everyone's clear on that.
Well, on YouPorn, I watched something similar to that. But the colonoscopy procedure lasts a little bit longer than those videos, for what I've seen. And I actually did see one of those videos on on one of those channels where the couple was taking care of business, and they had a camera in the woman during the activity, and you could actually see the activity from inside the woman, including what was very, very obviously the man concluding the activity.
Wow, well, that seems odd. That's like, is that a fetish? I don't know.
Really clinic porn, yeah.
The whole. It was very similar to when you're on YouTube and you have no idea why you're watching what you're watching. You go on because you're going, you know what, I want to see the new Tesla Y reveal. And all of a sudden you're seeing like Japanese ladies in swimming suits with dudes throwing baloney at them.
Now, are we still talking about the Tesla review?
And
that happened in it, or no?
I'm sitting there going, how the hell did this? That's the danger of autoplay. I'm sitting there going,
it really takes it down some weird rabbit holes.
It's like, what? A rabbit hole would have probably been the next thing that came up. I had to get the hell out of there with the. I had to switch that thing. I think, because you guys have Netflix? You have Netflix?
I do, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I fell asleep one time watching Netflix the first week I got it back, and I was watching some documentary, and it just went to this gang movie. I woke up the next morning, and even now, all this time later, every time it recommends something for me, it's all murder, killed, murder, drug, murder, kidnap, beheading, kill, murder, destruction, kill. Like, I watch comedies too,
I mean, I gotta say though, you just wrote an amazing death metal song.
Hold on. I mean, this might be as good as that McDonald's things that I'm going to take from you.
Yeah. Yeah, it is weird though when on Netflix, like some of the stuff they suggest for you sometimes, like what was it the other day? There was some where it pops up when it's like, because you watch this, type of thing, and it's like like you said, mine will all be comedies, and then like one of the things in there, some weird like horror movie or something. And I'm like, what?
It's like, who is? It's just really. I want to know what that algorithm is.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what that, because it's not bad. I mean, it's 86% match.
Yeah.
75. I'm saying, I just want something that'll allow me to eliminate anything that's below an 80% match. Because when they start
that would be a nice filter to have.
Yeah, because when you see, when it's down to 60 something percent, what do you see? Yeah,
it's pretty rough, right?
Yeah, it's like she loves him.
I mean, you got to look it up, see how much nudity's in it, and then make your decision. But yeah, I'm with you.
that definitely helps the decision. I'll be honest with you.
Right.
Definitely helps with the decision.
Like that'll pick it up a few points. Yeah.
You're damn right. I mean, no.
We're classy gentlemen.
Right.
You're damn right. In fact, I'm offended. I'm offended that you mentioned YouPorn, because quite frankly, I don't know what that is.
My apologies. Please cut this all out. I know this is a wholesome show, so I don't want you.
I'm telling you right now, that was really, really disgusting. I don't see. It's really weird when you get older. I mean, I don't. When I was younger, man, the amount of adult films I watched was just. It's like it was, because like every once in a while I'll pop a few minutes in and going, I can actually have sex. I don't really need to.
Right.
I could just I could call an ex-girlfriend and hey, and she'll go, I'm not seeing anyone, and I could just drive over there. I mean, I've done that. I don't really need to, watch.
Well, you got to stop at McDonald's on the way.
Well, yeah. She goes, "Are you going to put any bacon on me?" As a matter of fact, I am. And this, But I see, I got 10 years on you guys. So, I mean, you're old enough to have not used, that's a bad way to put it, to have watched, like VHS tapes when they were in full swing, right?
I worked in a video store that had VHS tapes.
Oh my God, you worked in a video store. Oh.
I worked in two. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, the freaks you must have seen in that joint.
Oh, you ain't kidding. And the first one I worked, like, the store I was in closed, so they moved me to another store. And when I was moved to that store, that was the only one in the Hollywood video chain that had porn. So, and we got, and I'm not kidding, we got boxes of it in because they were trying to sell it from all the other stores they had bought with it.
Mm-hmm.
And they had porn, like, 3 for $15 or whatever. And so many people coming in with, like, bags coming up to the counter. And I'm like, oh.
Did they sell other things that weren't adult films? You mean
like other videos and stuff?
No, devices
accessories?
Yes.
No, nothing like that. It was just videos.
Guys, it's just me. It's just us, man. You can. Granted, there's going to be a lot of people listening to this, but you in many different countries.
They sold candy and popcorn. I mean,
you don't have to use euphemisms. You can say what you really mean.
Extra butter popcorn.
I'll tell you right now, we got the sauce right here for you, buddy. As I walked into a place and the person that sold the videos, it was really because they had a classic section in the back, for the porn stars from like the 70s, 80s. Then they had the weird stuff. I'm going to say weird stuff like that wasn't most of the damn store. They had the weird stuff. Then they had the ethnicities broken down, and it's just it was like the kind of stuff that back then didn't bother you too much, but now would be like super racist. An hour later, you'll want some more of her. Like what the hell is this? And the guy behind the counter, he was behind a glass partition, and I didn't see the devices and stuff at first, but somehow the people that walked into the store they knew they were there. And some people would buy things they weren't that ashamed of. I'll have some of that liquid stuff you rub on that heats up. I'll take that thing that goes, I'll take that thing there for my wife there. And a guy bought, and they have those dolls now that are supposed to be women.
Yeah.
Well, this particular place just had the part from the navel down to above the hip.
Wow.
And it was like $100-something. Now this is 25 years ago. And he bought that, and then he leaves the counter and he walks away. He didn't even have a damn bag around. I'm like, I'm looking at the guy like, wow. Really? I was like, is your car running right out front? Is that what's going on here? And
damn.
Probably should have left with a ski mask too, so no one knows who he is.
Oh my!
Right? Yeah.
Let's be honest.
He was proud of what he had just bought, by parading it around.
That's the part about him. Sitting there going, dude, they have bags. They have big bags.
Putting it on the front seat.
What do you mean I can't be in the carpool lane, officer?
Right.
Look, I have a third of a torso.
Right. Sir, that's not helping your cause. We're going to need you to pull over.
He's like, ooh, sir.
We're going to need to look in the trunk.
Yeah. This is the rest of them. That was. I'm curious about those dudes, though. Those are the ones I'm really curious about because, a dude or a lady taking care of themselves, that's one thing. I get that, But
yeah.
When you go out and you gotta get that, I'm just imagining this dude standing over his kitchen sink washing it.
I just hosing it out.
I think you're giving him too much credit, but you know.
Yeah, I'm sitting on because and just like anything else, you know, when you get comfortable having something in your house, you get very lax with putting it away.
Right, like he just leaves it out on the coffee table.
Yeah, destroying
the centerpiece at Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Would you pass the ass?
Yeah,
I mean, turkey. It just amuses me because I know that with a lady I was with, she was at my place all the time, and I was at her place all the time in New York. And you know, I'm trying to be. See, this is not my original podcast. So I'm trying to, you know what I mean? Try to not to be. Okay. All right. I had a suitcase with some stuff in it.
Right.
Some, you know, it was full of
a toy chest, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say it was the activity case.
Right.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Okay. And so I would always make sure that everything was returned into the suitcase in its original way. The suitcase was then put back into the closet and locked. But they came apart. You know, you guys married, guys? You married?
It sounds like
No.
well, 4 more.
Okay. So you know what I'm talking about then. So what happens is when you get used to people not popping by, you start to get lazy.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you put stuff back in the case, and you lock the case, but she's walking around in, you know, the shorts and your t-shirt, so you're going, I'm just going to have to bring this case back out again. I might as well just leave it right here in the chair. And then you leave it in the chair unlocked. Then you leave it on the table with the lid open. Then you leave it on the table with the lid open and you walk out of the house, go through your everyday activities, come back to the house with friends, and it's sitting on the table with the lid open.
Yep.
I mean, these things happen.
Yeah. And he's like, he kind of, see, the thing is, I was in really good shape back then. And, I realized how fast I was able to move when the door opened and the case is sitting there wide open with stuff. And I dived in front of everybody and slammed it closed and ran into the other room. I'm pretty sure they saw what was in there.
Yeah.
But
well, what you do is if anyone says anything, just be like, hey, look, I just kept the options open. I didn't know where the evening was going to take. And then they won't ever mention it again.
I mean, that's a good idea, but I really, even though those two, the other couples were friends of mine, the option was closed. I did not want the option. The option was closed in my mind immediately.
Fair enough. You didn't want to step into a bad area. I get you.
I was like, no, it would have been more like, now that we've seen that, S. Anthony, we were wondering, no. Not to be rude, but hell no. You know.
You come back from the other room.
I knew people. I knew a lady who was actually in that industry. Well, not a lady, like I only knew one, who was in an industry where, you know, where you take dudes and they like tie them to stuff and smack them around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And it's a
thing, right?
Yeah, it's a funny thing because I was picking her up to go. She was I don't want to say too much about it, but she was also a live performer who was on the show with me. But that was how she made money while she was trying to pursue her other thing. And I pick her up, and I got there too early. And there was a guy strapped to the wall with weights attached to something. And I'm
Oh,
going,
boy.
I'm like, I guess I'm early. You know,
It's
it's
like, not enough to start. Something's going to start throwing knives like you're at a carnival.
yeah,
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah.
Oh god, it was like, I was like, dude, that ain't gonna make it longer, bro. Sorry. That ain't helping. That's just painful, you know.
Yeah.
That sounds like a real bummer, honestly.
Yeah, it's not sound like a good time to me.
Yeah, it's really.
If I walk into the corner of furniture wrong, I'm having a bad day, so I can't even wait.
Yeah, man, I can't take stub toes, bro.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I can't take it. You know, it's this. And that is just a weird thing. And that is, I don't know. It's really weird. Like when you get to a certain age, because I know I'm saying these weird stuff. There's no way in the world that something weird like that has not happened to you individually and you collectively. It has to.
Right.
You have to have. And I would like to hear it.
Well, if you really want to hear stuff like that, the way to do it is change your Twitter avatar to like a pair of breastises, and then just start soliciting guys. You'll get told everything.
Yeah,
You're gonna want to hear most of it probably, but
yeah. You know what?
Well, first the guys on Twitter.
You know what? I'm going to not do that. Because every time I've been in those situations, it's always been a complete surprise and not a pleasant one.
Yeah.
Because some things you can't unsee.
True enough.
You just can't unsee. Like I can't unsee two grown men eating sweet potato toast. I can't unsee that.
Now I feel like we have to and send pictures in.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say.
I want to see this crap. You know, do you do like food? Do you do food reviews or something like that? I mean, just all the time, or just in regular conversation? Do you do strict food reviews?
We had a very short YouTube stint because one of our listeners sent us Canadian treats.
Hmm.
And we did some videos of us sitting around trying these various snacks out of Canada, and we called it Sweet and Salty Language. So I guess there's always the potential to do that again.
Yeah.
That is
but
weird.
Otherwise, it's much like how you brought up the Big Mac with bacon to us, kind of a thing. It usually just organically is part of the conversation, and then we, talk about how great something is, or we just shred it. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I know one thing. At some point, I'm going to wind up in that area, and I'm definitely going to check. See, that was one of the things I was watching a YouTube video when the guy was trying out this super gigantic pizza, and he was trying this thing where it was a stromboli with, those cheesy bites or whatever that is. They were actually part of the stromboli, and I'm sitting there going, I've never thought of that, but I don't know who invented it, but I like this person.
Yeah, it sounds like a genius. He should probably be working for NASA or something.
Do you know who it was? It was that guy with the third of a woman.
He goes, now that I've gotten rid of my third woman, I've now decided to. I'm sitting there going, you know what? I don't really want to eat anything you're making, buddy.
Yeah, that's how he celebrated. He immediately went out and bought a torso or a pelvis, I guess. It's just one of those weird things. I don't know, man. I was surprised that when I saw that it's for some reason now, but I hadn't thought about that in years. As soon as you said video store, all of these pictures of these nutcases that I ran into came into my mind, and I'm going, good Lord Almighty. Good Lord Almighty, I don't even know what's going down. Oh yeah, the worst stuff was always when somebody would rent something and then they bring it back in like half an hour. They come in at like 10 o'clock before noon they brought it back already.
Oh.
You're just looking at it in the Dropbox going, I don't want to touch that.
He gets some of those.
Like internet porn exists.
Yeah.
That's
get your fix and chill off your laptop.
Yeah.
You know, isn't that kind of weird? That must be what the Geek Squad feels like.
Right? Probably, yeah.
You know, because they're sitting there going, the keys are sticking, you say?
No, sticky.
Right? And then that must be kind of weird because remember, you know, back in the day, they would always catch these weirdos when they would take their cameras into, you know, the place to get their film, you know, to get their film developed, and they'd go, "Yeah, we're gonna give you the film in a minute. I just got to go over to the corner, turn my back to you, and make a really low volume phone call for about 20 minutes."
Right.
You know, and I just imagine what these folks find and look at on the heart, because they have to remember, data recovery means you had data on there that you wanted to save. It was important to you, and now they got to go get it. And then all of a sudden, you got to, you know, picture some dude's grandma, you know, wearing a Batman outfit, and you know, and I'm going, oh, grandma, granddad, oh, why? Why?
I think granddad's dressed as the Riddler.
That's always weird. That's always weird because when you think of yourself, you think when you get, like, you're 40, you guys are 40 and almost 40. I'm 50. When you're going, you know, at some point, you know, I'm going to be an old guy. An old guy. Like, I can do everything I need to do now, so you guys are younger than me, so you can do everything. But there's going to come a point where we're like old dudes. And I would like to think that even as an old dude, I'm still going to want to, you know, take care of business.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So that means, and so it's not like our grandparents or parents are from, you know, so far back that there's some kind of evolutionary difference between us, which means, you know, they're not from 500, they're not from 50,000 years ago. So they obviously felt the same way. When I get older, I want to still be able to take care of business.
I mean, you know, they say that nursing homes are like charitable for the spread of STDs because grandma and everyone else is just, it's like orgy central, and, you know, the old elderly care center. Just weird to think about, but I mean, they have needs, man.
Yeah, you know what's hilarious is those reports are on the news, and they talk about that like that's a bad thing. And if I ran an old folks home, I would use that in my promotional packages.
Yeah, exactly right. Oh yeah, we just let them bang. Oh, okay, cool.
You want to take care of mommy? Oh, we got somebody that'll take care of your mom. All right.
Yeah, exactly. we have Eugene over here. He's a machine.
Oh, your dad won't miss your mom. Trust me.
Exactly.
Oh, we gotta go. So when you say when you guys tape your program, so the Salting Language podcast, you do it via Skype.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
When do you normally record? When you normally record your shows? Normally
it's a Friday night situation, but you know, since we were doing this, and then this week I'm switching back to day shift for my job, so I'm trying to like reset my sleep schedule. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, yeah.
Well, what's your
last
gig?
night wasn't going to happen.
What's your gig normally?
Mm-hmm. I work in a glass factory. Very exciting stuff.
Yeah, I've worked in a factory before, my friend. Believe me, I know your pain.
Exactly.
Mine was a plastic factory.
Ah, there you go. Pays the bill. That's about all I got going for it.
But well, you know, it was a 12-hour shift.
Yep, exactly.
Oh yeah, that was fun. Mine was 7 to 7.
See, mine's 6 to 6. There you go.
Oh god, it was one of those things where I literally would take my hand off the machine, and the other guy would go, "Hey, yes," and he'd put his hands right on, and I would walk out, live what was the rest of my life, come back, and "Hey, yes," and he'd take his hands off, and I'd put my hand back on the machine, and it was one of those things where, you know, if you do that and you can consistently do that, there's literally nothing else you can't do.
Right, exactly.
Nothing you can't do.
Nothing.
You know, and you know, Bryan.
Just FYI, Brian's phone apparently dropped the call. I'm gonna try to add him back right now.
Okay, let's talk about what a piece of crap he is. Now that he ain't here, I can't stand that bastard.
Exactly. Or at least his phone. Let's see if this works.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, folks that are listening at home,
there we go. I think I have him back.
We're just talking about. For those of you listening, the audience, Bryan had a little bit of a phone problem, and I was trying my best to make Tony stop saying these ridiculous and disparaging things about Bryan in his absence. I'm saying, Tony, this first of all, that's wrong. You know, with all these personal secrets that you've been exposing about Bryan, that I'm going to, of course, cut out and put in its own episode called "Stuff About Bryan."
Only fair.
Bryan, we were Tony was just telling me about his job at the glass factory, and I was just wondering what your other gig is.
Right now I don't have one.
So you're like, oh man, no, you don't. Okay, well, you don't have another one, but you got this one. And I'm telling you, look, man, this is one of those weird things where this, to me, this is what I do comedy, obviously, but it's one of those things where when you put time into this, it makes everything else kind of. I mean, don't you look forward to doing this after everything else? After you get finished, as soon as you roll out of the factory, you can't wait to get to this.
Oh yeah, this is like a good way to unwind and relax. Sit down, just BS, crack open a couple beers, maybe. Nice.
It is beautiful, folks. My guests have been Tony High, Bryan Stewart from the Salty Language Podcast. I'm going to edit out the stuff Tony said about Bryan when the phone was out. It was wrong. Horrible stuff. I'm ashamed of you. I'm ashamed of you, Tony. I mean, you said you were friends, and to be that descriptive about the disgusting thing Bryan has done.
I mean, it sounds like you told him the truth.
Oh, folks. Now, we have concluded this episode. Hey, guys, look, you guys had me on your show, and I had a great time, man. I really did. And I really did want to have you guys. That's why I actually started another podcast, because I wanted to separate my original show, which I still do, and have this one so I could have on the people that I like to talk to the most. And I remember when we talked before how much I enjoyed it. So I wanted to have that experience again. And you guys are cool, man. I like you both a lot.
I appreciate that. I'm glad you had us on the show. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Guys.
Agreed. I'm glad, and we did have a lot of fun when you were on our show, too.
We might have to do a round two even back on our show or something.
You're damn right. And this time we'll both and we'll, of course, we'll do this again as well, guys. Thank you very much. Much love to both of you. I appreciate you.
Thanks a lot, man.
Okay, take care. All right, guys, did I not tell you we're going to have a great time listening to that? Did I not tell you? I told you I'm going to keep giving you the best shows I possibly can. This was another fun one. Much love to you all. I appreciate all the new people that are coming to listen, all the people that were listening before that brought the new people with you. Thank you very, very much. Much love to everybody, and I will see you next time. Take care.